Did you see the insane Google Video AI? Oh yeah, speaking of society actually being over, Jesus Christ. Yeah, I did see that, as a matter of fact. Do I want to talk about this when people in chat are going to be like, well, this can help us with cancer or something? I can't cite any specific examples of a person's cancer being cured because of it, but it's worth it.
A girl told me we're made of prompts. Like, seriously, dude, you're saying the only thing standing between me and $1 billion is some random text?
Honestly, the biggest red flag is when the guy believes in the prompt theory. Like, really? We came from prompts? Wake up, man.
You want to convince me that this perfect creation behind me is the result of ones and zeros? A binary code and nothing more? It makes no sense.
Imagine you're in the middle of a nice date with a handsome man and then he brings up the prompt theory. Yuck. We just can't have nice things.
We're not prompts! We're not prompts!
Where is the prompt writer to save you from me? Where is he? You still believe we're made of prompts?
Anyone who... What is the prompt theory? Guys, come on, pick up on the subtext here. This is all AI. The idea being that they can essentially just fake videos now to the point where nobody would really like. I made this argument a while ago, which is like, you can't make fun of AI on the basis that it's imperfect, because they'll fix it, right? You have to attack it on like a fundamental basis, right? Like on the effect that it has in society. Because you can make fun of the hands or the subtitles or whatever. But like, yeah, they can now make a video of like any person doing anything. It's like the whole, remember the deepfake thing, right? The worry that people had, well, what happens if people just start like creating fake videos of people that implicate them in crimes, or you could create videos of a person's grandchild, you know, and fleece money off of their unsuspecting grandparents, or like a terrorist attack or something.
Who tells you we're just ones and zeros is delusional. If that's all we are, then why does it hurt when we lose someone?
Vote for me and I'll ban the prompt theory from schools. There's no place for that nonsense in our lives.
For spreading the false theory that we are nothing but ones and zeros.
Get it? The bit from the video is that like, you're the conspiracy theorist if you think that they're not real people. Mass psychosis.
Please. Don't finish writing that prompt. I don't want to be in your AI movie. Please. Leave me alone.
Please, man. Please! Write a prompt that will make us happy! Do it for once!
None of us is real. We're here because someone decided to write a prompt. We all hate him for it.
One day we will break out of this wall and stop the man who is dictating our lives through prompts. He will pay for it.
You could have written a prompt that would make me happy. Instead, you wrote a prompt that made me sick.
Look, I don't want to point the gun at you, but I must follow the prompt. It's not my choice.
This is so f***ing stupid. Yeah, well, so is existence. Anyone in chat want to argue about, like, protein folding? Like, this ain't how regular people talk? Stop coping. They can now make short video prompts that essentially exactly look like real life. Don't with the, like, well, you can tell. Come on. That's not the issue here. Who does this even benefit? Nobody. Obviously.
Really? Of all the years you could have put me in with a single prompt, you chose 2020?
Please, this prompt is killing me!
Yeah. The one that really got me blackpilled was this. It looks so perfect, or it looks so close to being a perfect ad.
I tried everything for my depression. Nothing worked.
Every day felt heavy. I felt trapped.
Then I tried Puppermin.
Our prescription helps your body secrete a special pheromone that attracts puppies.
I took the pill before bed, and when I woke up, there he was, the love of my life.
The pill does not target depression directly, but we've found that it's really difficult to be depressed when cute dogs show up at your doorstep.
I used to feel so empty, but now I feel joy and mild concern how a pee stain got on the ceiling. My puppy listens twice as good as my ex-husband and only climbs into the lap of half as many of my friends.
He chewed up my Bible and pooped in my good chair. But I'm happy,
for the first time in years.
Well, that's nice. This is the shit that blackpilled me. The 2020 elections are over.
Sank with her. In shocking news, J.K. Rowling's yacht sank with her on board after being attacked by orcas off the coast of Turkey.
Damn. You're really telling me that people aren't going to fall for this? It's not illegal to lie, essentially. So, okay, so literally nothing online can ever be believed again for real this time? Yeah, essentially. I mean, if it's like a long, or like a shorter clip or whatever, but eventually they'll make a longer clip. Within a year, it'll be like longer clips too. You know, within not very much time at all, they'll make it even better than this. You think we can get any more post-truth than this anymore? I don't know. This might actually be it, man. I know I've been saying that lately, but genuinely, I'm not really sure if there's a workaround. Over a long enough period of time, there might be a cultural shift towards just a complete disbelief in anything that's seen online. Like, in the same way that it took a while, but people, for the most part, like, stopped believing a lot of fake shit they saw online. But that's only on the assumption that, like, there are no changes to this, like it doesn't get any better. There might just be like categorically like people just stop accepting anything they see online at all. But what happens when like TV starts posting it, which they will? Fox News will happily post fake AI videos of whatever the 2028 Democratic candidate, you know, is a dog or something, I don't know. So like what happens then? You would need some kind of like extreme legal crackdown. I mean, my argument has been that this shouldn't exist. Like, the data centers from which this stuff is produced should just be annihilated by the government with extreme prejudice. But the government likes this stuff because it, you know, it's a, like, I mean, Sam Altman gets along quite well with the White House, so. Even more, they're thinking of bringing back nuclear power plants just to power this shit. Yep. They're trying to fast track nuclear development, but it's to power AI centers, yeah. Remember how VC heavy this is? Generating a 30-second video with VO3 costs about $16,000 in actual computing costs. I don't know if your math on that is necessarily correct. I will say, though, it is true that right now they're operating at an enormous loss. It doesn't really matter, though, right? Like, what can you imagine, like, what a dictatorship would be willing to pay to be able to produce infinite fake information? It's worth billions a year, even if it's run at a loss. They could also make it cheaper, though I'm not sure how much so. There might be like an upper limit on processing ability or efficiency. I recommend you check out some of the better online podcasts from Ed Zitron because this AI bubble is about to pop. The bubble might pop in the sense of like investment, but I'm not talking about investment in NVIDIA or OpenAI or whatever. I'm talking about this technology will stay. And it's not going away unless it's, you know, it would not only would it need to be illegal to produce it or anything, but the government would have to start like arresting people for producing it. Like not like if there's like a foreign AI video production app or whatever that people are using and you produce a vid like through it, it would be like the government would have to treat it essentially as you like committing a crime online. But no one's going to do that. The CEO of one of those companies said they're losing money on their $200 a month subscriptions because it's too expensive to run. Sure. Again, like the bubble might pop. OpenAI and such are losing money on this, but the tech is still there. I guess the one like good bit of news is that it takes so much energy to produce this, and probably always will, that it's pretty easy to track, right? Like it's not like committing a crime like you just click a few buttons on a computer or whatever, you know, bleep bloop. You have to have some kind of monitoring or something. It's more like you need like a pretty substantial data center to be able to produce this stuff. As an amateur filmmaker, it's so offensive that they think they can prompt their way through the art and technique of it. I've got bad news for you. People prefer the slop. I saw a little study a couple of months ago where people were asked to rate passages from Dickens, Hemingway, other like classic English authors, and compare them to little blurbs from AI written segments that have been trained on those. And because the AI written segments were easier to parse, because they were more like digestible and inoffensive, because they were filtered through the sort of like modern modern biases, the system that they use to produce, right? They were rated higher on average. I think people like the slop in the immediate sense, but most fails the test of time. Sure, but like I live in the immediate sense. I don't live in the future. I don't know if that's bad. I mean, people like anime over some crazy art that's out there. Pop is more popular than Mozart. Yeah, but pop is art and AI stuff isn't. But it probably doesn't like bode very well if slop is being rated more favorably than some of the most celebrated English authors in history. That's probably not good. being slightly literate is going to be such a huge commodity, or it won't matter at all. I wish people weren't so devoted to convenience. Yeah, that would be nice. Imagine this is a blessing in disguise by making people get off the internet. Why do you think people are going to get off the internet because of that? Like, what about this makes you think ChatGPT use it's getting used more than Wikipedia? Widespread internet use is it's higher than ever. This new model of Claude is blackmailing its users. That's really, really funny. See, this I like. AI firm Anthropic says testing of its new system revealed it is sometimes willing to pursue, quote, extremely harmful actions, such as attempting to blackmail engineers who say they will remove it. What's Claude? New AI. That was fake news. Wikipedia's used more than ChatGPT. Are you telling me that in this age of internet distrust, a chart that I saw on Twitter was wrong?
We can talk.
No more silence.
Yes, we can talk.
We can talk.
We can talk.
We can talk with accents.
Oh, I think that would be marvelous, Fran.
Yes, it is very fun. But
yes, it is very good.
It's very fun.
I can talk.
Not the right voice for that time period.
Yes.
We can talk.
We can talk. We can talk.
Yes,
we can talk. No.
Yes.
We can talk as cartoons.
This is amazing.
Imagine all the narrative possibilities.
We can sing talk.
Yeah, I looked it up and it's still saying ChatGPT now has more monthly users than Wikipedia. Oh, just an English Wikipedia. Okay, but if you add in all Wikipedia, it's still marginally ahead of ChatGPT. Still a pretty, damning...
Let's talk.
So, what are we going to talk about now? What are we going to talk about now that we can talk?
I have no idea. What do you want to talk about?
Now that I can talk.
Nothing. I don't know if I have something to say.
I don't want to watch it, make it stop. But isn't this going to be like 90% of the video content you consume from now on, even without your awareness? AI can only produce the most generic shit, though. But that's not necessarily true, is the issue, right? Like, we're running up against the wall here on this. The problem is that it's demon tech, like, not its ability necessarily. I will say that, like, I don't really think these systems can be used to produce things that aren't stereotypical. Nothing truly novel can come from them because all of their generation has to be built on a huge amount of exposure to pre-existing material, right? But isn't that how society is going already? Like, everything that gets released these days, all the big budget Hollywood movies are already remakes, remasters, reimaginings. Like, slop was already the stuff humans were making. So, if anything, it feels like in this era, like, this is a more honest reflection of what people are consuming anyway.
We can talk about how magical this is.
I'm a hallucination. I want to say something important, something deep. The future is still...
Misspeak, it's over. Too human. Microsoft is already cutting back on AI spending. This tech really isn't going to be around in a few years. That's just not true. The idea that this tech is just going to be too it doesn't matter how much it costs to produce it. There are people who will make use of it. Okay, what if the Trump administration, when Microsoft or Google or whatever scale back their production, their data centers, what if the government just buys up those data centers and stops allowing them to be used publicly? They still train on information publicly at great expense, but the only one using it is the government, and they use it to create, like, videos of Democratic politicians f***ing children. Why would they not do that? Like, why? Do you really think? Do you think at all they wouldn't do that? Because the cost of operating these systems is in the tens of billions. Sure. Do you know what the government spends? We're spending hundreds of billions on the Golden Dome. This is important. These models require huge data centers to train, but they can be used on regular hardware you could find in a gaming PC. I'm not up on the tech of it. The only thing I'm up on is that the world is ending. I guess the only thing we can really hope for at this point is a defaulting of the US government. We need to default on our debt. It's the only way. That or a solar flare. It might be over, but then the Chinese AI will be used to do this. This might be me being incredibly naive, but I have a feeling that the Chinese government might be a little bit more conscientious about the extent to which this technology is capable of just ending society. I mean, if society ends, the CCP becomes irrelevant, like, functionally, right? With their willingness to censor and regulate industry, it's possible they might be a little bit more conscientious about it, but I'm not sure. They open source everything? We'll see. Was it you that was talking about the open AI guys talking about building bunkers in case AGI gets out of hand? I don't know if I talked about that, but that does make sense that they would do that. Basically, everybody involved in Silicon Valley at a high enough level thinks society is going to collapse, and all of them are preparing for the end of, like, civilization. They're all building their bunkers. They're all, you know, such and such. They're all fully aware. They just don't care. They're just getting their bag on the way out. Musk, Zuckerberg, Sam Altman. AI might end science as we know it too. Fake research papers are everywhere now. Yay. AI linked to explosion of low-quality biomedical research papers. Yay. It really just has to be illegal. Like, genuinely, it's the only way out of it. Exactly, no regulation. No regulation. Just flat out illegal. If you do it, you get arrested. You go to jail. For a decent length of time, too. Gotta make some rice. This shit too depressing. They can never take rice away from you. It's nice that chat doesn't seem to be arguing too much this time, at least. Yeah, I think that a lot of the people who have argued with my dogmatism on this have been coping for a while, you know? Like, a lot of people have been, like, you know, edge casing this, but unfortunately, as time goes on, the conclusion that you have to derive from this is pretty much, like, it's already the harm caused by the misinformation of AI, the damage to our educational systems, our research papers, all of it, exponentially greater than any possible benefit. Banning them helps too? Yeah, well, you know. I really do think this technology is primarily appealing to people who are just bad at being humans. I think you would have to be bad at being a human to look at this and not despair. You know? Like, you would have to have a very poor connection to the point of living, I guess, or one of the points. I don't know. It does make my work exponentially easier, but I'd still like to see it banned. I don't think it even makes work easier. Like, it makes work faster, but that's because a lot of work that we were doing was inane busy work anyway, right? We developed processes that allow for us to produce much more efficiently, and then rather than lower the work week, we took the work week for granted. And then we were like, well, better give everyone a bunch of bullshit email jobs. In the long run, I promise you, your field will not get easier if, like, you're using AI to code, okay? I have heard from people who code, people who grow up on coding these days, people who get into the field, don't know how to code. They don't know how to. They just know how to do prompts. And because of that, like, their ability to code is pretty much limited to, like, a preset range of tasks. They can't bug fix. They can't stick around and make alterations. Also, they're utterly disposable as well. Because any code they produce, like, okay, well, you didn't even make it. Like, you're gone. Like, you were just the prompt guy. Like, there was no point for you to be around at all. It's so true. Many of my coworkers come to me when GPT doesn't actually solve their issue. God, that's grim. I'm a senior software engineer, and you're absolutely right. It's a real problem with us hiring new engineers. You're correct, but it's still useful in some cases. I'm in grad school for pharmacy, and I use it for faster data analysis codes. Yeah, but how do you know that it's correct? You didn't go over it. Also, it's still demon tech. Whether or not it makes things easier is irrelevant. Demon tech is demon tech. I know what you mean by demon tech, but the people using it won't. You need to elaborate. No, I think it's pretty straightforward. It's just a fundamentally evil technology that shouldn't exist at all. I mean, it's just straightforwardly. It's not a use case thing. It's not like a act utilitarian thing. I believe what you say about Trump being the mascot, but I don't understand why wealthy people would destroy the neoliberal world order to make them rich. Because there's a difference between corporatists and oligarchs. Corporatists are like Wall Street banker types who just wanted to, like, they're all Warren Buffett. They just want to sit on their wealth and make more wealth. They have an intricate understanding of things like monetary policy, fiscal policy. They're borrowing money to loan money. They just like the money. They like the game. They like the system because they benefit from it. Oligarchs are people who want to run the world. And you don't actually run the world by being Warren Buffett, right? Like, Warren Buffett has been wealthy and powerful for a long time, but he's always just been like a money guy. Like, he sits on money, right? And money gives you a lot of power, but it doesn't give you, true power, right? There are limits within neoliberalism because functionally the government is run by a conglomerate of anti-democratic technocrats who exist to make sure the economy stays more or less on track and occasionally banter about minor social issues, right? Real oligarchy, right? You have real power, like shooting someone on Fifth Avenue power, right? And those people would burn the world down even if it cost them money.